My session is called Getting In Under the Radar, and it's reference to Web 2.0 technologies and social media and so on. Sometimes we have to be a little sneaky. Oh, rats, my mouse was hidden by something that came up. It was a mouse being sneaky. And I don't mean being dishonest when I say being sneaky. I just mean sometimes, being a little wise. So we go off to conferences and we hear all about all these wonderful technologies, Joomla and DimDim and all these wonderful things, and we found ourselves having information overload. And we toddle off back to work, all filled with new ideas and enthusiasm and passion and all excited about the things that we're going to do. And we say, this is what I'm going to implement, this is what I'm going to introduce, this is the way forward. And the next thing we know, we need paddles because somebody's had a heart attack. And the people in the business just are not on board with this. You talk to senior management about it, and they do. They have an absolute heart attack. They think, oh my word, it's going to cost us a fortune. The business is going to go down. People won't use it. This is not the culture. How many people have heard that? This is not the culture. We don't have the culture for that kind of thing. The problem is things turn around so fast that we don't have time for the big pink bow anymore. Everything that's so neat and so precious and so nicely packaged. It's great, and it's nice, it's attractive, it's a nice way to present things. The problem is that quite often in the process of waiting for the big pink bow, the goalposts keep moving, and in the meantime our users are feeling stranded and done to because they don't know what the heck is going on, and they keep being promised some mythical solution that's going to come along and resolve all their problems, but the mythical solution never actually materializes, and so they feel somewhat marooned. And if we are a bit precious and we say that all the learning solutions have to come through the L&D department, then what we do is we actually create a bottleneck of ourselves. We turn, this is a merger here, it's not very clear on the screen, everything having to sort of be forced through one conduit, and things get held up, and as a consequence we have that maroon situation again. What we need to be doing is looking at ways of leveraging the skills, the resources, and the allies that actually exist within the business, and identifying other people that can help us to construct solutions that can do what we were hearing about earlier, take the learning to the learner, take the water to the horse, rather than taking people out of their workplace and so on. We also need to let the users out of the box. We need to stop thinking about us and them, because you know what, at the end of the day, it's all just us. We're all in this together. We're serving we work for a business. The business has goals, and we are all working towards the goals of the business. So instead of seeing our learners over there in that box, we need to look at ways that we can construct learning together. And yes, we know about words like social constructivism, or we should. And if we're really modern, we know about connectivism. The problem is the people in our business, the senior management, they don't. They don't know what those words are, and there's no reason why they should. The problem is we serve the business, the agenda of the learning department, and then we talk learning language to senior management, and they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. And why should they? It's not part of their sort of framework, if you know what I mean. So what we need to do instead is we need to start talking the language of the business. We need to start aligning the goals of the learning department and the learning provision with the goals of the business. Go to the top table. Start talking about where the business wants to go. Start talking about how we can help reach the business goals, achieve the business goals, and talk about it in terms that the people at the top table, the executives and so on, can relate to and can understand, so that we're actually all sitting together. And use the tools that are available to you. You don't always have to call the tools by their right names either. You could call a spade a thing that makes holes, because for the benefit of the person who you're talking to, that's what they need to know. What does it do? Sometimes, you talk about wikis and so on, and they go, oh my word, what's one of those? We're not modern. Some of the tools you have at your disposal may be a little clunky. I own this thing, by the way. I really, really have it, and it really, really works. And even if it is a little clunky, sometimes it can do the job, and sometimes you can incorporate those slightly dated solutions into stuff that you've already got, or into sort of more modern solutions. So not everything has to be 2.0. I developed a series of e-learning modules for a company I worked for using a screen capture tool called Snagit, PowerPoint, and the public folders in Outlook, and I never even told management that I was doing it. I just put them there. And the users in the business, the help desk started directing them to them, and we started using them like that. We could remember the days of brainstorming using Word with track changes? The problem is half the people didn't know how track changes worked, and so it didn't work, and collaborative documents kept falling down. So we can move on one step from track changes, thank goodness, and use things like Google Docs. You don't have to tell people we're going to go and do this 2.0 thing called Google Docs. Just say we've got this space in which we can all contribute to this document and we can all work together, and here it is, and this is how, it just works like a Word document, and you just change what you think needs to be changed, and so on, without inundating people with the scary stuff that's part of our world, if you like. And then if you get really brave, you can introduce a wiki. Once again, sometimes it's best not to tell them that it's a wiki. There are free tools out there, such as PBWiki. There. Other wikis are available. I'm not here to advertise any particular product. To get people to collaborate in a space where they can start sharing their ideas. Other tools such as, and this is quite old by now actually, in imaginationcubed.com, it's a shared whiteboard that people can all log into from various different spaces, so you can start scribbling on whiteboards and so on, which can be a sort of a stepping stone towards webinars with open whiteboard spaces. And you've got people who sit at the coalface doing this job that you're trying to teach them. They're already doing it. So we could leverage those people. We're talking about screen capture tools before. Why get the learning department to do it? Why not get it done by the people who already do this? They do this job. They know how it's done, some of them. And we could identify them as the experts and leverage the skills that they've got, taking the learning to the learner, where they are, at their workspace, where they need it, so that they can do their job and get on with their lives. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. And that's me. Thank you very much.